ever talked to your senior care loved ones about their insurance? Okay, let me do a question a different way. How many of you would be on the hook if someone close to you left this world and didn't have insurance? How many of you would be expected to chip in? Say what? She got both hands. And so then the question becomes, have you talked to those people who may be a part of that problem? So if you're expected to chip in, then you can feel okay by asking them, hey, what are we doing with this? Or perhaps, looking at how you can get a small policy that may help in the end. Yes, sir. That's okay. That's okay. But you feel better. You feel better offending them, and everybody may not get offended. Or it may be a case where I'm coming your direction. Maybe a case where someone don't feel like they can afford it. And so it may be able to manipulate and negotiate in a way to say, if I have to, I just had to deal with that. Just had to deal with it. And it's not an easy thing to do, but they know, I call the funeral home and say, get what they give you, and we'll get the person buried. So I wind up, at the end of the day, whatever was left out there, it has to come out of my pocket. Because my grandmother would expect me to do it without me. So because of that, I get to ask, are you pretty sure? And what are we going to do about this? Okay, so that's what we're going to start with. Now we're going to pray, because I don't know if you're coming already. And I'm not teaching the class. And we're going to get started. Are you YouTubing this tonight? This is going out over the World Wide Web, so let's be accurate, okay? Let's pray. Above all, God, you are God Almighty. We say thank you because we know that you don't need us for anything, yet you spared us another day. Thank you. Help us to recognize and realize that we have a responsibility for all that we can for ourselves and our loved ones. And help us to come to know that you place some of us in position so that we would be able to help those coming around behind us and around us. Like you did Joseph when you sent him to Egypt, prepared to bring his whole family in, that they would be cared for, and then you build a nation. Help us to know that, God. And sometimes it's hard because they don't necessarily treat us right. When we're not there, we won't forget that they forget how they treat us. We want us to act like it should be easy. But it's all about you. It's all about love. Guide the conversation now. In Jesus' name, amen. The first topic tonight, hopefully we get the topic two. First topic is going to be insurance. Life insurance. Types of insurance. All kinds of insurance. Okay? You have 40 minutes now. Let's go. 35 or 4. That Shannon, and she is a licensed person that sells insurance. Right?
Let me first off start off with a disclaimer. I am here and I am speaking to the masses. What that means is I am not speaking to your particular situation. I'm not speaking in general. If you'd like to discuss your particular situation, I'll be more than happy to do so after hours. Okay? There are going to be some subjects that I would like to cover, and they're just going to be very general. I'm going to hit, as the old people say, the hot spots. All right, so what I would like to do first is do an icebreaker, and I need some participation from the crowd. Is that all right? All right, so I need for you guys to pair up for me. Pair is two, so I need maybe to get together with two people, and I will need one person to decide I will be the speaker, and another person to say I will be the listener.
Can everybody hear?
Can everyone hear me? Can y'all hear me? I got my sexy voice on because I'm on YouTube. I got to make sure I'm sexy. Y'all got that? All right. So everyone who decides decided that they want to be a speaker, I need for you to come up and I need for you to grab something, a piece of paper out of this. Once you do, do not open it. Do not provide it to the person that you're going to be speaking to. Okay? Speaker only. Again, please do not open it. Do not share it with the person that you are going to be talking to. Pastor Johnson, I need for you to participate, please. No, I do not. I need you to pair up with someone who may not have someone to talk to. Does anyone not have a partner? Anybody not have a partner who is willing to talk to Pastor Johnson? Who is willing to talk to Pastor Johnson? All right. All right. Carrie's gonna get it. Sir, would you and this nice gentleman? Yeah, do not look at it. Everybody good? Everybody paired up? Everyone has a sheet of paper? Pastor Johnson, could you move like Jesus loves you? Again, is everyone paired up, please? It works better if you're a pair, I promise. All right, somebody else is coming in. They coming? Okay, guys. Pastor Johnson, thank you. Appreciate it. All right, sir. If you and the young lady, if you guys would just decide one quick thing for me, who's going to be a talker and who's going to be a listener? Can you fight amongst yourselves real quick? Okay, all right. Ma'am, come straight on up. Come on down. The price is right. The talker, whoever's going to be the talker. All right. So, I would like to say, unfortunately, all of my speakers got called home to heaven on last night. Yes. God called you home last night, unfortunately. However, being the good God that He is, He has decided to allow you to come back and speak to the one that you love, your family member or your family members. Do not open your forms. Do not, please do not open it. It's very important, right? You're given an opportunity to come back and speak to the one or the ones that you love, right? So what I need for you to do now is turn to your partner and repeat these words after me. Everybody ready? Everybody, you have to look at them now. I mean, play like you like them. Look at them. All right. All right. Dearest, whoever it is that you love more than anything else. I said, dearest, name the person that you love more that you wanted Jesus to let you talk to for one last time. Say their name. All right. All right. Unfortunately, I was taken away from you far too soon. I miss you dearly every day. I wish I had the opportunity to hug and kiss you one last time. Come on. Please accept this token as a show of my love for you and the family. Now hand them that piece of paper. All right, I need for everyone to open up your piece of paper and see what the person who loves you so dearly left you or came down from heaven to give you. So, a question. You ready? A question. Who all got a food item? Stand up.
to a repast, and while you're there, you notice the guests get more food than the family. And the family really don't leave with anything. Okay? How many people, you guys can take a seat? How many people received a bill? All right. For those of you who received a bill, if you didn't leave your family anything, does that mean that that bill goes away? Does that mean that that funeral is free? No. That means that you still have to pay for it. Correct? All right. Take a seat for me, please. All right. How many wonderful people received a check? All right. You received a check. When you opened up your piece of paper, how did you feel when you saw your check? You was like, ah! The blood still worked. That's what we did. We was like, go ahead. All right. Okay. Take a seat. Thank you so very much. All right. The purpose of that was to let you know these are things that happen in real life. In real life, if you're not properly prepared, you're going to receive food or a bill. My job here is to help you leave your loved ones a check. Okay? You ready to get started with me?
Oh, yeah.
Did y'all like that? Was it good? Very good. All right. Again, this seminar is about life insurance, right? Just to let you know, again, I'm not going to cover all life insurances because different companies offer very different products. What I'm going to do is just pretty much talk about the ones that are most common throughout. There are things that you can add to these policies to make them do certain things and maneuver in certain ways. All right, we're going to first talk about the types of life insurance policies. The two types are term and permanent. Okay? We're going to now define term life insurance. Right? Term life insurance, it offers pure death benefit, protection only, without any cash value building up within the policy. Main types are increasing, decreasing, and levels. Okay? So this policy can be purchased in different types of time frames. So they can be 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, and 30 years. So a little known fact, most people think that if you buy a term policy, that at the end of that term, you no longer have that insurance. How many people thought that that was the case? That is incorrect. Term policies do not expire at the end of your agreed term. It's just like when you buy that new cable subscription. You get 500 channels for $25. After that 2 years up, you still get those 500 channels, but do they still cost you $25? Same thing. Term policy acts the same way. What it does is actually renews based upon your age. Okay? So that's what it does. So you can still get the same death benefit, you're just going to pay more for it. Okay? So here are some features of the term policy. Okay? Provides death benefit only. Does everybody understand what I mean when I say provides death benefit only? That's right. Pastor Johnson put it so eloquently. You have to die to get paid. Okay? Provides benefits only if you die while the term is in effect. Does it know what that means? If you cancel it, you don't have anything. Okay? So God has to call you home before that 20 years is up. You need to talk to Jesus and tell him you got your mind and your life right, so you're ready to go home for them 20 years up. The next one, easiest and most affordable life insurance to buy. Does anybody know why? Why is it? Because it doesn't really have cash value, so they don't really want to put a lot of pressure on you in order to get this policy. So they want to make it as easy as they possibly can for you, because term policies really benefit the insurance company more than they benefit you as a consumer. All right, so it goes back to you can be purchased for a specific time, 5, 10, 15, or 30 years, which is known as a term. Now remember, that's varies from company to company. Some companies offer them longer, some companies offer them shorter, so you would have to talk to your insurance professional about, what type of time frame you can buy it for. The next one is becomes more aggressive as you age, especially over 50. So what that means is the older you get, the more this policy is going to cost you. All right. The term policy can be renewed if you want coverage to extend beyond the term, and usually what that is a term conversion. Does anybody know what that means? All right, so let's pause real quick. I just want to give y'all a little tidbit of information. Y'all got to talk to me. I need interaction. I need to know that if you have any questions, let me know, because I'm looking out among the audience and it seems like maybe there's some points that you guys don't understand, and I'll be more than happy to address those issues. So far, do we have any questions regarding term insurance, the information that you currently have? Do you have any questions at all? Does everyone understand what a term policy is? All right. A term policy can be used for additional coverage with a permanent policy. Did you guys know that you can have different types of life insurance? You didn't have to have just one type. All right. A term policy can be converted into a whole life policy. Really and truly, it's a permanent policy. Okay? Whole life is a type of policy. So term can be converted into a permanent policy, but term cannot be converted into term. Yes. Insurance policies for my company, and again, every company is different. With my company, it has to be in effect for at least 6 months before it can be converted. How much the price difference is, it depends on the type of policy that you're having it converted to. So if you're having it converted to, we're going to go over different types of permanent policies, but it depends on what it is that you have it converted to, and you can still have the permanent policy in effect and the term policy in effect as long as you keep the minimum to keep that term policy in effect. So if the minimum for a term life insurance policy with the company you select is $100,000 and you have $150,000, how much of that term policy can you convert without losing that term policy? Anybody? Okay, I'm gonna say it one more time. Correct. The amount is $50,000 because you need $100,000 to keep that policy in effect. Got it? So if you have a term policy that's face value $150,000, you want to convert some of that over to a permanent policy, but the term policy requires a minimum face value of $100,000. You can play with how much of that policy? $50,000. Very good. Yes, there is a benefit to having both of those policies. We're going to go over that a little bit, but I'll go ahead and touch on it for you. Because term policies are just like anything else. They are for a temporary need. Are you going to always have a mortgage on your house? Are you going to always have a car payment? So why would you want to buy a permanent policy for a temporary need? The only thing in life that's permanent is the day you were born is the day that you die. You begin dying.
So does that mean that I'm concerned with using the term without the house in case something happens? So the same as the end of the life without that.
Okay, I'm sorry. Please.
I'm the microphone man. Okay, so does that mean that I have the term to pay off that mortgage in the event that something happens, but I have the whole life to keep the family rolling in the same event?
Correct. Because term policies don't cost as much as permanent policies because they don't do as much. Here's, let me give you an example. If Pastor Johnson pulled up in his nice big truck and I have my nice little Pinto, don't they both do the same thing? Are they not automobiles? Do they not both get us from point A to point B? You think Pastor Johnson paying the same amount that I'm paying for my Pinto?
He could actually drive you around with your Pinto in the back.
So that's the same thing. If you want a policy that does more, it's going to do what? It's going to cost you more because it does more. It does more things for you. So a term policy, the way I like to explain it for me in layman's terms, it's a starter policy. Because at the end of the day, everybody look at that piece of paper one more time. Which one of those things would you like to get if God called you home today? Would you like to get a check, some chicken, some corn, or a bill? You want to get a check? Mike, please.
If you have a term policy and I decide to cancel, do I get anything of it? No, it's just done?
Yeah, you get a girl, thank you.
The answer is no.
You get a girl, thank you. No, term policies do not have cash value. If you decide to let that policy go, thank you. We appreciate you very much. That is correct. A term policy, again, it has a purpose. Remember what we just talked about? You have a term policy to pay off something that has an end date. If it doesn't have an end date, then maybe a term policy may not be the best fit for you. It's not designed to last a lifetime. It's not a lifetime policy. It's a term policy. Okay? Yes, sir.
I purchased a term policy for my brother, and before they insured him, he had to take a test. You know, they either he was a smoker or a drinker. They said the policy was going to be $27, but after the test, I ended up spending $55 a month to cover him. So why don't they explain that to you once you're going through the procedure?
Again, I cannot speak on behalf for every insurance company, but insurance companies are rating you based on your mortality rate. So if you do things that may make you not live as long, then the likelihood of us paying you out money faster and sooner is greater. So they rate you based upon that risk. So if you talk to your insurance, well, okay, don't say no names now. He is on the internet. Pastor Johnson, he is a problem starter.
We know.
Don't say no names. No, but that's usually a cost. Most insurance companies, and there are other insurance providers in here. So if you guys want to jump in, please. I won't be insulted in any way. But most of the time, insurance companies, again, they base it upon the risk. If you are a person who eats well, doesn't have a family history of anything, your mortality rate is usually longer than someone who does, some Indy 500s. You like to jump off the bridge every now and then. You like to do really risky stuff, or you're a smoker, or you have cancer that runs in your family, heart disease, and things like that. So those are things that are taken into consideration because it's based off the average mortality rate, men 80, women 85. The reason why is because we talk y'all to death.
Right.
My question is, why the insurance don't let you know that
I'm sorry.
on the term life?
Like, I'm sorry. I don't understand the question.
Hello?
Yes. Thank you.
Yes, I just wanted to know why the insurance company, term life, don't let you know when you're taking that policy out in the beginning that at a certain age that they cut you off, or they just raise your rates.
Crooks.
Right.
Because they're crooks.
I am not certain, but for most people that have insurance with me, I like to review it after a year because I like to know what's going on in your life, if there are any life changes, to see if there's something that maybe we need to increase or we can decrease. Again, that's all depends on that particular insurance company. I can't speak on behalf of them, but that's not how I conduct business. You're supposed to get an itemization of your policy to let you know how it's going to perform, when it's supposed to increase, and things like that. So that's supposed to be given to you up front once you accept the policy.
Okay, let me jump in. You have some crooks. I'm on the internet, crooks. I have a cousin who was sold accidental death. He thought he had a life policy. He didn't read all the small print. I have people who bought term and paid astronomical money for it because the person needed to get paid, so they didn't tell them. And that's why we're doing this, because we don't read all the small print, and we have people who are professionals in that area. And there are people, I'm glad, I hope you tell people how people have been burned. I went just to review the policy of a cousin. They sold, he's in assisted living, they sold him a fire policy. A fire policy. Taking part of his Social Security for a fire policy. So, especially when you have loved ones around, make sure you see what they got. I have a person right here, he's not here tonight, but all his life he thought he had life policy. It's a term policy, it expired. By the time he needed to redo it, it was going to be 500, almost all his Social Security check in order to continue the policy. So you have, I ain't gonna call them crooks, shysters.
Well, I wouldn't call them shysters. I will call, okay, just to let you guys know, you also have to be an informed consumer, okay? And I'm not saying, just imagine when you get these policies are 40, 50 pages long, right? If something is important to you, ask that question. Say, listen, hey, I'm buying this. If I were to walk out here tomorrow and you hit me, what I got? If I decide I want to walk out in 10 years and something happened to me, what I got? You have to ask them what's important to you. Okay? It's what's in it for me. I'm giving you my money. What are you giving me? Because at the end of the day, when it's time to collect on this, you're not here to talk for yourself. So you have to make sure that you ask the proper questions prior to signing your name on that dotted line.
And I'm going to say, it's important to read it, not ask the question, because they can tell you whatever they want. They're selling it, so it's best to read it.
Yeah, and I agree with that, but these policies are not made for you and me. They made for Tasha. Tasha's our lawyer, so they're made for Tasha. The language in it is not common language. It's not something that's thus thou forth, thou art, around the bush, over your head. That's what they're made for. So I do agree. You do need to read, but reading something and having an understanding of it is two totally different things. Now, I can read a book on how to be a brain surgeon, but would you let me do surgery on your brain? I read the book and I stayed at a Holiday Inn.
We saw the commercial.
Oh, Holiday Express, sorry. I stayed there.
I think you made a great point, but I think it's important to know who you're doing business with, too. So they know you, so it's best to do business with someone you trust. That's why I think it's important that if you're going to buy anything, buy from somebody you know. Buy from somebody who has a vested interest in you doing well. They care about you. They care about your family. They're going to be around in 20 years or 30 years when your policy may expire or when something happens in your family, they're going to know about it. So it's important to know who you're doing business with because there's a level of trust and accountability between you guys.
Don't be fooled by color. Most people I have problems with look like me.
I would say back in the day, our forefathers, our parents, or our grandparents, they trusted that person that came to the door. And a lot of times, that person that came to the door probably didn't look like them. A lot of times that person took advantage of them. But there was some honest individuals out there as well. Also, I said last week, America's dirty little secret is sell death insurance, but don't sell life insurance. There's a big difference. A lot of Caucasians, they call it life insurance and heritage. And so they pass that legacy on to their loved one. And so we have to be very mindful what we want to leave for our loved ones. Do we want to leave them with a lot of bills or a piece of corn, or do we want to leave them with a check? Amen.
Any other questions? Yes, sir.
Yes. I want you to touch on this subject. Okay. Return of premium insurance. For instance, I buy a policy. Let's say that policy for 20 years. Okay, at the end of that 20 years, I can go and say, okay, can I have all the premium I paid during that 20 years? Yeah, that's the question. Now touch on that.
Okay,
Talk to me about that.
All right, I will. All right, so let's go ahead and move to the type of policies that you guys don't mind. And again, please, these are just the hot spots. These are not all the policies that are offered. Every company offers something very different, right? Okay. All right, so an instant answer. An instant answer is a policy, is a short-term coverage. It's guaranteed to stay the same. It doesn't build any cash value, and it doesn't have any loans. You can't take out any loans. Why would you need an instant answer policy? Anybody? Anybody have any questions? Right. You don't like needles. You don't want nobody in your business. You don't want nobody answering your questions. You just want this to a life insurance policy. And then when when you get back high school sick, you're going to try to convert it to something else. Okay? Instant answer policies does not typically require any type of physical. They don't really require anything. You answer a couple of questions, and it's instantly an answer. Got it? Okay. All right, a select term is what we talked about. It is the one that comes in 5, 15, 20, 30, 35, depending on what company you're with, right? It's for those things to pay off student loans. It's to pay off the mortgage. It's to pay off the cards, to pay off any debt that you don't want to leave to your family members that has a deadline. It has an ending date. Okay, right? Remember, all of these policies do not build what? Right. They don't give you no money. You don't get none of that. Okay? And you can't take out any loans. Remember, these policies, the only benefit you get is if you what? Any questions about those two? All right. Return of premium. All right. Return of premium policy is a kind of hybrid type of policy, I like to call it, because you can, as he stated, you can get some of your premium back at the end of the agreed upon time. Now, because it does more, it's going to do what? It's going to cost you more. Okay? So most of the time when I do a lot of return of premiums, it's for people who kind of like their term insurance. They kind of like being in that arena. They don't want to do a permanent policy. They just don't want to spend that type of money. Then I offer them a return of premium. So I have a very quick question for you guys. How many people out of 100% of Americans, how many you think have own their own life insurance policy? Just in the room. How many of you own your life insurance policy? Raise your hand. Just wait. Don't be shy. You own your life insurance policy? Does anybody not? Do you know what I mean by you own your life insurance policy? You tell your life insurance policy what to do. You say, I don't want to work for Sean no more. So I'm going to take my life insurance policy and I'm going to go do something else. Because I don't like her, she thinks she's cute, and she ain't that cute anyway. Anybody? How many own it? How many people tell their life insurance what they want it to do? You tell them where you gonna work, when you gonna work. How many of y'all?
We didn't know we could do that, so come on with the info.
Okay. Well, You can't if you only have it through work, because you don't own that life insurance policy. Your employer does. Your employer tells your life insurance policy what to do. And if you decide to leave that in life, if you decide to leave that company, you're going to leave that life insurance too. Okay? Most companies offer you a 1-year renewable life, which means every year when you go to sign back up for your benefits, you have to reapply for your what? Your life insurance. Does everybody get that?
Well, let me ask you this question. Don't most people have that, but they have their own insurance as well?
51% of Americans only have life insurance through their job.
Really?
51%. Oh, I got it through work. 51%.
Let me ask you this question again, because that makes sense. So, you have insurance at work. Everybody does that works normally have that if it's offered. You're saying that because you're saying that people don't go out and buy their own insurance policy. So the insurance I buy for me, that's my insurance.
Correct.
'Cause I pay for it.
Yes.
That's what you're talking about.
Yes.
Okay. Now you made I gave me an idea that because I own my insurance, I can move it around.
Correct. Because it's yours. You own it.
Okay. So I have insurance with whatever your company is. Y'all made me mad.
Okay.
And I want to move that policy to USAA, my go-to people.
No, you cannot move it. You can rewrite it with USAA.
But I can cash out with you.
Correct.
And
If it's a
react.
permanent policy.
Okay, that's okay.
All right. So what I mean by that is you don't have to worry about if the government shut down what you're going to do about your life insurance, because it's yours. You pay for it. It's yours.
Yeah.
Right. Right. So let me rephrase the question. How many people have life insurance outside of their job?
Lifespan.
Oh, very good. Very
Now,
good.
if the government shut down, we still got to pay the premium. What's up with that? Or you got some, you gonna tell me some stuff with tricks we can play?
There are different types of permanent policies that will allow you to do that. If you have a term policy, no, I want my money every month on the 1st and the 15th, whatever day you told me you're going to give me that check, I want my check. Okay, I don't care what the government doing. That ain't my problem, that's yours. Okay? With a term policy. Okay, you got that? Because term policies don't have flexibilities. They are what they are, and they will forever be that. They will never be anything different. Remember, a term policy benefits you only if you die. So you can't expect it to jump through hoops, learn how to clap, do a backflip, break dance. It don't do any of that. It sit there and look pretty. That's his job.
It seems like we've been hitting on term life a lot for this process. I know there's a lot of other insurance on your paper. Is term life the thing that everyone gets, or is it something that is because we keep hitting term life?
So is there statistics on how many people are on term life as opposed to whole life?
75%.
75% of term life?
75% of Americans own term life
My
policies.
God.
That's
But it
the
was
reason why.
recommended that that's something only for a time, for a short purpose. So I'm looking for what should we own?
Right. You should own a mixture. I mean, if you have a house, right? Are you going to own that house? You're going to be paying for that house forever? So there's no perfect dynamic. Me personally, I own both. I own term and I own permanent. I own term to pay off my mortgage if something happens to me, to pay off any debt that I have. That's what I own term for. I own permanent for the things that are going to be permanent and consistent in my life. The things that do not have a time frame. So let's now move on to permanent life insurance. Any questions about term? All right. So all this is fancy to say that permanent insurance is an insurance policy that gains cash value. You become your own bank with this. This policy, it helps you on this side of the dirt and on the other side of the dirt. Does everybody understand what I mean by that? If you die, you get a death benefit. If you live, you get cash value and other things to do along with it. Okay. Some of the features. It covers you for your life. It provides death benefits as well as cash value accumulation that builds during the life of the policy. You typically must qualify with a health examination. You can purchase without a medical exam, but it is typically a little bit higher. It takes about 12 to 15 years to build up decent cash value, right? It's not a, you put it in on Monday and you want some money back on Tuesday. It doesn't work like that. Okay, you have to let it build up a little bit in order to make it do something for you.
So, when you were telling us about the college, your insurance policy had probably started by an adult when you were young.
Correct. My parents bought it when I was young, when I was a baby.
So by the time you hit the college area, it was 12, 15 years old.
Correct. Everybody got that? Yes, sir.
So the second part is when you say it takes time to build up a cash value, but if I die like a year after I purchase a permanent policy, does it already have a cash value associated with that, or is it just whatever I've accumulated over that 1 year?
No, sir, your death benefit is the same. Death benefit is whatever amount you decide. Cash is what you play with. I mean, my financial person, like, I know she just did not sit there and say, you play with your life insurance money. What I mean by that is your death benefit will be that. If something were to happen to you, that is your death benefit. The part that becomes the bank is your cash value. That's the part that becomes the bank.
So when you say the death benefit, so if you bought the permanent life policy and you had a $100,000 death benefit, and a year into it, and you died, then you get $100,000. That's what you mean?
You may get that plus some. Right, most insurance companies do have, like she said, it's called a contestability period, which is usually 2 years. So don't buy it on Monday and then say, I don't want to be here no more, and knock yourself off because your family gonna get whatever it is you paid into it, because it's a contestability period, okay? Or, and also, most companies also have it, so just in case you didn't disclose something, you came to the office and bought life insurance on Monday and you found out on Friday that you had some sort of disease or something like that where you knew you were going to pass away. So you have a 2-year contestability. No, that means the insurance company has a right to decline paying you that death benefit because you did something that was not truthful. Example, you only have no kids, but you claim 2 kids on your tax return. The same thing. You said that you didn't have any illness, but they come to find out that your mother died of heart disease, and now you just found out you had heart disease. Does that make sense?
What happens if you do everything right, you do everything correct, and within that 2-year time span, you pass away?
I pay you your money? No,
Okay.
the 2-year contestability is only if you die under suspicious, for example, if you bought a life insurance policy and then within 4 months you died of cancer, they're going to research that to say, did he or she know they had cancer? If you bought a life insurance policy today and you go out there and Pastor Johnson can't drive and he hits you and you die, you didn't have nothing to do with that. Nowhere on their life insurance policy did they say, can your pastor drive? Everybody got that? So don't be afraid. The contestability is only if you don't tell the truth. If you do not tell the truth, then they have a right to look at that because it just don't make no sense. You know, you said on your life insurance policy you weigh 180, but when I come to visit you, you are a strong 325. You are a strong one. Understanding what I'm saying? So that's what it is. It's just a safeguard. Another thing about that is some people will be like, can you come up? Bishop, would you mind coming up? Please, would you mind coming up real quick? Can you talk to me? Bishop don't look like he's doing well. I'm gonna go ahead and put this life insurance on him. He don't look like he gonna make it. Sister, me and you, I got you. We got that. So that's the purpose of it. That's the purpose of it. It allows the insurance company the ability to make sure that they're going to pay you in good faith, and so they're going to say that the information you gave them was in good faith. Okay?
Don't insure anybody to kill them either.
Please,
Because that
please,
happens.
please.
Y'all laughing, but that
Please,
happens a
yes.
lot.
And I gave that example because people do call me and ask me that all the time. Do Bubba have to know I put it on him? Yes, Bubba does have to know that you put it on him. I am not going to give you no insurance on Bubba and me and you be, no, I don't do well in jail. I'm sorry.
I have two questions. The first question is, are term life insurance policies, are whole life insurance policies the only ones that you have to do a physical examination for? Or do you have to do that for both term and whole life?
Very good question. Again, that depends on the insurance company. The insurance company that I work for, it depends on the value. If I got the more money I got to pay you, the more I want to know about you. I want to know about your mama, your cousin, your best friend, your neighbor. I want to know everything about you. Because if you have $1 million policy and something happened to you, I'm out of what? $1 million. So yes, I want to know everything about you. Yeah, I sure do. I might stalk you a little bit. Don't worry about it. We okay.
No.
So, to answer your question, you would have to talk to whomever you're deciding or wanting to get insurance with to see what policies do require a physical and what policies do not. Again, every insurance company has their own standard where this is the amount of money that I'm willing to put at risk without asking you any physicals or anything like that.
My next question is, how do I go about choosing an insurance company? Because people go out of business all the time. So how will I know that the money that I put in is going to come to fruition?
There is different companies. We're going to talk about that at the end. It's also on your little sheet if we run out of time because I got 7 minutes and Pastor Johnson don't play. But they're on the bottom, question number 4, under your most frequently asked questions, it does address that. Okay, all right. So I'm going to go through really, really fast. If it's something that piques your attention really quick, please let me know, all right? So it also can be a good choice for estate planning. Cash value is based on how much you want to return in your investment is worth. All right. A portion of the cash value can be withdrawn and borrowed during the life of the policy. All right, and the next one, I'm just going to go through, let's go jump to the types of life insurance policies, okay, guys? All right, so universal life, if you guys could look at your sheet of paper, it kind of tells you exactly what it is, okay, what it covers, and all permanent policies have build cash value. The only thing that's different among companies is dividends. All companies don't pay dividends. A dividend is, if I make some money off of you, I'm going to give you some of that money back. All companies don't do that. Okay? So when you're out looking for companies, ask them, you going to share some of that money with me? You going to give me a little something? Okay? So that's what a dividend is. Everything that's the same is they're all going to give cash value. How they gain cash value depends on the policy. Some policies are more aggressive than other policies. Whole life policies move like a snail. They safe. Universal life has an investment component, so it moves a little bit differently. And it does different things. Again, you can talk to whomever you're deciding to do insurance with to talk about the types of policies. That's good for you. All right. Limited pay. Limited pay is my favorite permanent policy. You want to know why? It has an end date. I can buy it for 10 years, 20 years, 15 years. At the end of that, I start making payments, but you're going to be still paying me. Got that? It works just like a mortgage. When you pay off your house, do you give your house back? Same way with a limited pay. A limited pay means you're going to pay for it for the limited amount of time, and once that time is up, you will still be getting cash value for that policy, but you make no more payments. Single pay premium, your income tax was tight and right, so you want to go ahead and just buy you a life insurance policy all at once. Right? Final expense is just that. It is designed to take care of your final expenses. They vary from company to company in the amount. Most of those do not have any type of physicals, and they're usually geared more toward once you seasoned, you've been through life, you know what it's all about, and you know, kind of structures your life. So the only thing you need is to put yourself away nicely. Any questions about permanent life insurance? I got 4 more minutes.
Can you rank the cost of these? I mean, how do they rank from a cost perspective? I mean, you went through all of the types.
It depends on the company. Again, every company values that particular product different. It's just like if I went and I got a burger from Burger King and I went and got a burger from Five Guys, is it still not a hamburger? It's
Hamburger is Five Guys. I don't know what that other thing is.
Then again, it all depends on the age too, right?
Of the burger?
What? No, his question was about the price. And I'm saying every company is different. You can't go to Five Guys and say that McDonald's has, a 99-cent burger. Or you can't go to Five Guys and say, hey, I need that 4 for 4. They be like, oh, you out, what for? That ain't even enough to get a single patty up in here. Are you understanding what I'm saying? So every company is very different. What about my company?
She can't, you have to see a person on that. She can't sell in here because she don't pay enough time.
And not only because the pastor told me, I couldn't come back to church if I sold something up in here. Because I'm talking to the masses, I do not like to talk to people in general about their life, because in general, I want to know you. I need to know what's going on with you. I need to know what you want this life insurance policy to do for you. I need to know, what's your dream? What you want? I don't sell insurance, I sell relationships. I want a relationship with you. I want to know what's going on with you. I want to know what keeps you up at night. At the end of the day, when I'm coming to your house to prepare your check, I want a story to go along with my check.
So she'll talk to you later about that particular question.
All right.
Who has a question? Oh, Lord, this is going to be terrible. This is Eric.
On the permanent life insurance, if you borrow against it or withdraw against it and then you die in the period where you pass that contestability part, what happens to your death benefit? Does it decrease?
For my company, what happens is if you do not pay the loan, it does decrease the death benefit of that policy. So if you borrow $10,000 and your policy was for $100,000, I'm going to give your family $90,000 instead of $100,000.
Got that.
Any questions? All right. Yes, but you were paying yourself back interest. You were paying you back. You're taking money from one pocket and putting it in the other pocket.
No, the interest you would have occurred while it was taken in there is you have to kind of pay that back.
Right. So what it's doing, it satisfies the loan. It satisfies itself. Are you following me? And then it pays them the remaining balance. So if you were to take out, true story, I had a customer who came into my office, borrowed money on their policy on Monday, had a brain aneurysm on Tuesday. True story. Another true story. Let me ask you something. When is it too early to buy life insurance? All right. So, looking at me, and if you were a life insurance person, do you think I would be an easy sell, easy life insurance?
Negative.
Do you think so? Just height, weight,
Yeah.
pretty, do you think?
crutches.
I'm not saying, you know, rate me by, oh, is she cute or nothing like that. I'm saying, just looking at me. Looking at me.
You look pretty healthy.
I am uninsurable. 2007, in February, I was diagnosed with a blood clot in my right lung, which I lost. And so now I cannot buy a life insurance policy, even if I wanted to. I went from elite preferred to uninsurable in 24 hours. Right? Does anybody understand what elite preferred is? You can't get no better than me. That's it. 24 hours later, no one in the United States will sell me a life insurance policy. Because now I have a blood disorder.
Got quiet, didn't it?
And that is a true story. I'm in the church, so that is a true story. All right, so let's go to the frequently asked questions real quick. Why do I need life insurance policy? If you don't love nobody, you don't need it. You don't love nobody? Nope, you don't need life insurance. How much life insurance do I need? Depends on what it is you want to leave somebody. Depends on what type of debt you want them to have or to not have. What type of policy should I buy? Term or permanent? Again, I gave you guys some examples on the bottom of the sheet that kind of tells you, again, term policies, in my eyes, just mine, is anything that has an end date. I don't want to pay for the rest of my life for something that I'm only going to have for a short period. Perm is something that I don't have an end date. I don't know when it's going to happen. My thing is, I have no idea when God is going to call me home. If you know, let me know. And tell me the lottery numbers too, because you got some good gifts.
Okay, now, I have a policy, of course, but I also have my grandkids into that policy. Now, I don't want them to spend all of my insurance on myself, and I want it to be split up between my grandkids. How will I go? Will I have to get an attorney while I'm alive?
We're gonna do wills and trusts.
Yeah,
at
you can
another
talk to
time.
Tasha.
We'll do wills and trusts later on.
Yeah, Tasha. The reason why, guys, last thing. A check is just that. If you tell me to give your check to your mama, I can't tell your mama what to do with your check. Okay? That is the truth.
He said he was gonna give me some, though.
Right. There's nothing that I can do. My job is to give the check to who you tell me to give it to. I cannot monitor them and tell them who they should or shouldn't do. Right? And the very last one is, how can I tell if I'm getting insurance from a good company? At the bottom, I answer that, and it gives you all the ratings to tell you how you do it. Just FYI, insurance companies are not like your report card. If you get an A, that don't mean you're doing good. Okay? Pastor Johnson, they want me to
So,
share.
if I could make one statement, I think I'm correct, but if I'm not, then you'll straighten me out tonight. Using your situation, if I've bought a whole life or however your premium for my children and life insurance, and at 30 they get a blood clot, they're still covered.
Correct. Once you buy it, whatever happens after that is between you and Jesus Christ.
So it behooves us parents to even cover our children just in case something happens at a later date. If we've gotten that policy for them, they will at least have some insurance.
That is correct. I have a very close family member who's 5 and can't get life insurance.
And the benefit, though, is also usually the premium, like for the grandbabies, the premium is only less than $300 a year each. So in 20 years, I will only have paid $8,000 for $25,000. You
you shop around for that end result. There are some varying things there. Let's thank Shalonda for going over time.
My name is Sean.
Delunda.
Jesus bless him. Amen. Thank y'all.
All right, thank you. And I knew we wouldn't be able to get in all the areas you want to get into. I bought term because I made up my mind I didn't want to pay insurance all my life. So at 20 years, my term was over, but my funeral was set up, and now my estate